Houston Texans, number 2 overall pick.
Dose.
We got what, 2 options, I'm guessing.
That's kind of how I see it, bro.
We got Will Levis and no, I'm just kidding.
Ah, fuck.
Just kidding.
Ooh, I felt that one.
Nah. We got it's pretty much Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Um I know Adam Schefter kind of tried to throw a little smoke screen out that the Panthers traded for the number 1 to go get Bryce, but it may be a smoke screen because they really want CJ. And they're, as we know, trying to get the Texans to bite on the bait, and I hope they don't bite. So I guess no matter what, 1 or 2, we're getting one of them. I guess we can debate on why and why not we should go with each one. I guess we can start with Bryce.
Well, Bryce is my first choice. If you gave
Yeah.
me the choice, I want Bryce. Like his size is not an issue to me. Like I really don't care about that. I pick him over CJ because I recognize that he is more of like a natural playmaker. Like I think he can make things happen that otherwise weren't there. But I feel like CJ's a little bit safer, meaning that there's going to be times where Bryce pisses you off. Like that's the negative that I see. So
Yeah.
I just feel like Bryce is so smart. Like he gives me that, like almost like an Andrew Luck kind of feel about him.
Ooh.
To me,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he confidently knows what he's gonna do. Almost like a not as cocky as Joe Burrow, but that kind of player.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, you look at like quarterbacks that are like intelligent, and you look at quarterbacks that make like mental errors and mistakes, and he really does fall. It's from what we've seen so far in college that he falls under the intelligent and the mental reps that he needs. Like everybody that has talked to him and on teams, coaches, they always talk about how smart he is, how much of a football player he is. Like he just knows and he can hold people accountable. And for that being a rookie quarterback, your franchise player, the face of your franchise pretty much is what I feel I would want in my quarterback. I mean, I hate to bash Deshaun, but he did not have a lot of those at all. And I mean, as we know with the massage gate and everything else, it's a lot has happened there.
a lot. I don't know. I just feel like as Texas fans, we would be more confident with Bryce as our quarterback opposed to CJ because I think the majority wants Bryce over CJ.
Yeah,
and that may not be fair to say because it's a little bit more equal than people think. But I just feel like a lot of us would think that CJ is like a consolation prize. Also, a little bit like Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've gotten consolation prize after consolation prize, especially on the Rockets side, for sure. So we're already in that agreement. One of the two for sure. As long
But
as
my issue is, like, I feel less of a consolation prize CJ as Jalen only because I confidently think that he can play football how we need him to do it.
Yeah.
So I still am confident that the job that we need to get done will be done by him. But the thing that pisses me off about CJ is I just get the vibe off of him that I used to get off of Matt Schaub. Like, there's instances where you just know that other quarterbacks will fight for that, and then Schaub never did. And it's like, man, I don't want to deal with that with CJ because you can't unteach that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just it's something that's in their DNA, their go to, their pedigree of it. And you always hear it in sports. It's that stuff, like you said, you can't teach it. They have it or they don't have it, and you've said it over past episodes about your City Boys. Like CJ, when it comes to the big games, he shows up, but it doesn't finish all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, do you want that in a quarterback?
But to that point, like it might be recency bias with me because the last time I seen CJ play football, I'll never forget that game he played against Georgia. He did everything he was supposed to put his team in position to win that game. The kicker missed the field goal.
Yeah.
So you were one field goal away from beating Georgia. And it's like, I'll always remember that game. So to say that quarterback that played one of the best games I ever seen is my quarterback now. I really don't hate that as much as I did before that game.
Yeah. I guess we can shift over to him. I guess what are some other things that you see? I know he showed up in the underwear Olympics and
Yeah,
everything. He what threw? I believe it was 65 yards he threw.
67 in the air.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the best throwing sessions I ever seen.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really have nothing bad to say about the dude. To be honest with you, it's just he wasn't Bryce, but
Yeah.
then he's worked his way into it. Like, I legitimately could believe he could be the first quarterback taken. Like, I understand why people would think that.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, oh, man, it's just like
Especially considering, like, what about like some of the receivers and shit from Ohio State that didn't do so well at the combine? That makes CJ look better because he's like, no, y'all thought I had some killers, but
yeah.
you seen what they do. But
Yeah.
I came and did my shit, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that he hasn't said, but I wish he would, like, or somebody say it for him.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, we're gonna notice all those, and we don't have anybody to answer to. So on our draft day, we'll probably be saying a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like we've talked about it, Bryce had pretty much nobody. CJ, I mean, as we thought had people, but as we're seeing, they're not as good as we thought they were. So I always say it's like a 1A, 1B with them. And I mean, all in all, if we get one of them, I'm fine with it. And I feel like it's just 1-2. That's it. Like there's no anybody else that thinks Will Levis and
You
Anthony
you know
Richardson.
what it is to me? I think as we were just talking about it, it just dawned on me. I could solve this problem. CJ is more to the mold of the quarterback that we just had and is out there. He's more to the mold of Deshaun, Dak Prescott, that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
And in our minds, we think Bryce can be more of a Mahomes or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm willing to take a shot on you, no matter how little you are, because there's a more of a possibility that there's a star there than CJ, who's
Yeah.
probably just going to be really good.
Yeah. And do you want a great star like quarterback or do you want a really good? I mean, at this point, if it's what I get, I get, but I would rather take the chance on who I really
I
want
just
to be
know
the
for
best.
sure that CJ's got a high floor. Like,
Yeah.
I really think he's going to be a good pro in the league. I do. So, but it's just like, what if Bryce ends up being that guy, the next guy? You know what I mean?
So would you say that Bryce, I mean, you kind of did, but I guess Bryce has the bigger ceiling for superstardom
Yes, for
compared to
sure.
CJ?
I think he definitely has the higher ceiling and the lower floor.
Yeah. I mean, he just does stuff and we've seen it and it's like the team that they're building around right now with an O line and everything. I mean, either one of them, you could say, oh, they're building it for this guy, they're building it for that guy, and you kind of have to because you don't know what's going to happen with that first pick. Somebody's going to trade for it. They're going to pick their guy, but still, all in all, it seems like it's Bryce still falling to the Texans,
I
and
just have a hard time believing that. Like, not to be a pessimist, because I prefer Bryce, but
yeah,
let's just think about what the Panthers are. Like, CJ he's a mechanical wizard. Like, he does the same thing the same way every time. You ain't got nobody to throw the ball to over there. I'm thinking they want a playmaker like Bryce.
yeah,
Like, it makes more sense for Bryce to try to get on that team than it does CJ to me.
yeah. I mean, I'll give him. We said it. I'll give you Cooks in the second round for
I'll give you Cooks and a pig swap.
yeah. It's like at this point,
And
just
I'll give you a tight end. Anyone you want.
yeah, pick one of them. Anyone. You got a whole
Please
plethora
pick
of them.
Brevin Jordan.
And I'll be cool with that. I think Houston would be cool with that. You get a guy off your place, you move up, get the guy you want. They get a receiver for their new young quarterback, and
The reason that I'm confident in either one of them is because I feel like the way that I suspect Slowick is going to try to call plays is going to protect Bryce from getting hurt. Like, he
yeah,
protect Purdy for the most part, Like Purdy
Yeah.
got hurt, but it was his own fault for standing there. And
No,
then in the same right, like you're asking CJ to go play in a system that's built for him. Like he's literally being put in the right position to succeed. So that's why I'm like, so either way, like you can think about it positively. Like you have a path.
yeah. And with these free agents that they're getting in, and who we talk about the receivers of being blockers, but I mean they're still viable receivers. They're viable options for a young quarterback. The O line's getting better. No matter what, in the end of it all, one of these two is going to be really good in this offense that they're building. And so, I mean, my vote's still for Bryce. I know a lot of people that are outside of NFL are still he's too little, he's too young, but it's like wait until you start to see him really throw the ball, and then you're gonna know, oh, okay, that's why.
It's just to me, he's kind of like Drew Brees to me. Like I always not like the talent wise or accomplishment, but like I never cared that you were smaller because I
Yeah,
knew you were going to do enough to protect yourself.
yeah,
And I feel like Bryce has that.
no, I agree. That's a thing. So we're going what
Bryce, CJ.
Bryce, CJ, and then if they for some reason go Levis or Anthony Richardson, I'll probably just turn the draft off.
Oh, for 100. No, I'd have to stay till 12 to see what we do.
You're gonna get both. It's, it's gonna be that O lineman you didn't want.
Damn it.
Oh man. Well, Houston, let us know which one you're on, Team Bryce, Team CJ. If you're not one of those two, then I really don't care to hear your comment because you're probably still mad we didn't get Jimmy Garoppolo. But
Oh,
but man, make sure y'all like, subscribe, check out Bayou City Boys. We break down all Houston Texans, Rockets, Astros, all other sports in Houston. And we're out, man. Y'all enjoy the rain.
yup.
Later.